Lions last night was, look, the defense offensively, some games there's going to be situations where the teams are just going back and forth. In the previous 3 meetings between the Lions and Seahawks, they averaged 80 points per game. Some games are just shootouts.
Yep.
That was a shootout. I'd like to believe things will tighten up, but they did get the win. And offensively, they looked incredibly stout again.
No doubt.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery, a touchdown. 7-0 when the Lions are 7-0 when they both scored touchdown. 3-0 this season. Defensively, they did what they had to do. Jared Goff, 18 of 18. What do you say about his performance? He caught a touchdown pass. I went back this morning. I went back this morning, and for about an hour and a half of my morning, I had the game, and I just kind of skimmed through what I wanted to see again. It's the best team in football. Like the first month and slow and this, that, and the other thing. The NFL, I think every team has struggled so far at some point this season. But as I watched this game again this morning, just went through it, I said to myself, this is the best team in football. It's certainly the best team in the NFC. And again, if you're not ready to say that they're better than Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, which I believe they have a lot of problems, Kansas City now, especially with Rashee Rice. I feel pretty comfortable in saying that the Lions are the best team in football, and there's not a team in this league that I think if they went up against, I'd say, can't win that one.
Facts.
I like it. I like it. There was pause because I wanted to go through the things. You know, I was looking at what team. Was it the Chiefs? Is it the Bills who had a loss? You know, is it the Vikings who are in the same division? And
Washington.
Is it Jaden Daniels, if you want to go that route? And I've come to this conclusion. You just wanted to see the offense get back clicking. Once the offense got back clicking, especially the way the defense played the first 3 games, you like, that offense gets to click. If Ben Johnson can find a way to make this thing work, Jameson Williams added to the, now a more major role, let's get this thing working. And then we can say that. Last night it got working. Like the 18 of 18, what it looked like, Mash, to me, it just was fluid. Like, I think that's what we were looking for in game 1 and 2 and 3, thinking about all the weapons and how good they were last year. You wanted that fluidity. Sometimes, Ryan, like you said, it takes time. It was fluidity. It was very easy. They were ahead of the plays. They were ahead of the calls. Jared Goff looked in control. And I love these running backs because I love them as we talk, Ryan. They both can do multiple things. Like, you don't put Jahmyr Gibbs in just for passes or just for, quick things. And you don't just put Dave Montgomery in for bruiser things. Hell, he had a catch last night for 40 yards. So it's fun to watch. And if you want to put them number 1, I think I could support that.
Yeah.
I think I could support that.
I feel pretty comfortable in saying that. I don't say that lightly. I think they're
Pacheco and Rashee Rice being out. Like,
I think
it's even easier.
There's an argument.
100%.
There's an argument.
Injuries are absolutely
That's
a factor.
That's your
here.
offense.
Injuries are absolutely a factor here.
Yeah.
What do you say, Maz?
I had a great seat last night.
Yeah.
Thanks to my good friend, Rich Adamo. I sat at the 30 behind the Seahawks bench. Row 9. Beautiful seat. Really saw the action. Coast to coast.
Show off.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to show off there.
It's all good.
Jared Goff made some great throws. I got home last night at about 12:15. I stayed up till 3 o'clock. I rewatched the game. Fast forwarded the commercial.
You're such a sicko.
Okay, I
Sicko.
did. My wife came out and she's like, "What are you doing? It's 3 o'clock in the morning." I felt like I was back home and my parents were coming after me again. By the way, I hate that about being married. That's the one thing I hate. All right, just leave me alone. Let me do what the hell I want.
Come to me.
I know. Let me do what the hell I want. I'm watching TV.
You don't have to be married for that, man.
No, for real. For real.
Be married for that.
That's an everyday occurrence.
The offense was beautiful. Jared Goff, he played one of his best games ever. Obviously, didn't miss a pass. Got a penalty on a pass out of bounds, so he got that one back. The Lions look great, but they were beat up, man. Malcolm Rodriguez is starting. And God bless him. Malcolm with a sack last night. He plays hard, man. But they're missing guys. And Terry Arnold is a walking flag. I know kids
They
can
gotta-
be
listen.
Kids can be great.
They got to do something about
They
it.
have to.
Eight
I mean,
penalties,
8 penalties.
8 penalties in 4 games.
It's an
Can't have
automatic
it.
flag when he's
Can't have
covering
it.
someone.
And
It's
actually,
because they're looking at him.
Sauce Gardner commented
Yeah.
on him on Twitter.
Said he's gotta get
he loves
lower.
him, but I don't remember what he said, but he said he's got to get lower. He's
Yes.
got to get lower, and he's going to be all right.
It bothers me because it's an automatic flag on the kid.
This is why it doesn't bother. Maz, you're absolutely right. Someone needs to talk about
Break
it.
it down, bro.
When you get guys like Sauce Gardner, Detroit's own, shout out to King High School, All Pro first year, first time ever done. When you get guys like that talking about it, that means it's an issue. He's so used to getting away with it at Alabama. They're not calling anything on Alabama players. The SEC loves Alabama. The SEC, they're a great team, and they love Nick Saban. So he's been used to getting away with that. This is why I'm not necessarily worried about it. Who is his defensive coordinator? Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
Really good DB in
Fantastic.
the NFL. Very disciplined with his technique. He's going to get this guy right, Deshae Townsend. I played against Deshae Townsend when Deshae was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's his position coach. They're going to get this thing together in him. You're right. It needs to be addressed. But I think you got the right guys. Because now Aaron Glenn, who's the defensive coordinator, now he can take time out of what he's doing defensively, the whole schematic scheme. Hey, look, Terry, let's sit down and let's watch some tape. Let's sit down and go over the technique. Leverage and getting lower a little bit.
We missed Brian Branch last night. Big time.
It
Missed
showed.
him. And they didn't get a rush on Geno Smith. Let me tell you, I didn't know Geno Smith was as big as he was.
Big guy.
Until I saw him. And let me say something. Geno Smith is at his peak right now. He is a good quarterback, and Seattle is going to be there at the end. They're going to win that division, I think.
It's funny. 2 points I want to make about exactly what you just said. One, here's why I do think it's an issue with Terry and Arnold: a reputation.
Yeah.
In this league,
It's automatic.
In this league, guys get reputations.
And coaches turn it into the refs before the game.
Right.
Say, hey, look at this.
This guy's a headhunter. This guy always drops his head. If you hit him, targeting foul. This guy always jumps off sides, like the lineman from Kansas City.
Oh, 100%.
You get reputations.
Taiwan
And
Jones.
in a 50-50 situation, you know what happens?
Yeah.
Flag.
Yeah.
You don't get the benefit of the doubt. That's why the Lions have to clean this up right now with this young
Because
man.
it's now happening with their other guys as well.
Absolutely.
Jack Campbell looked good last
He
night.
did, and I don't want to make this 30 minutes about Terry and Arnold because the kid was tremendous, and he will be tremendous, and I hope they clean it up. But some of the things that happened last night, you mentioned what did you just?
Malcolm Rodriguez?
Malcolm Rodriguez, tremendous.
He hustles. If you put him on the field, he's going to be in a
Jack
play.
Campbell was really good last
Terrific.
night.
Forced fumble.
Again, missing guys, missing Derek Barnes.
I know what I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
I know what I wanted to say. You mentioned Seattle.
Yes.
Joe Buck, I don't know if you saw this, Joe Buck
did.
and Troy Aikman, after the game last night, they were like, you know what? The Lions, we expected this from the Lions. What is the biggest storyline to you coming out of this game? How good Seattle is.
You bet.
Because I think, we didn't give them any credit for the 3 wins that they had earlier in the season.
Nope.
And the quarterbacks that they played. But it felt like Tony telling Apollo in Rocky II, we don't need this kind of man in our lives. Every time we
Absolutely.
thought we knocked them down, they just kept
They wouldn't
coming
stop.
after us.
Yep. Beautiful.
They
Beautiful.
just kept coming after us.
You just mentioned a player in Jack Campbell, who everybody knows, the infamous walking out of the draft when they drafted him. In my estimation, Ryan Armani, Tom Mazaway, Pete, and KG, Jack Campbell made the play of the game. Now, you can say it's early. It's the first half. They had much more time to play. Do you know what he did? Got the ball. Offense gets the ball back. Now offense goes on there. They put up another score. Now they put distance behind themselves, so they were able to play a little bit more comfortable the whole game. Yeah, they got pressed, but they were able to be a lot more confident. If they don't get that, they're moving. DK is on the go. Now you're looking at a much different ball game, even though it's the first half. So that Jack Campbell play, I know it's early. That's the play of the game for the Detroit Lions.
No doubt about it. And I want to give credit to Mike McDonald. That he's going to be a great head coach. You could just look at a guy and know he gets it. Then you look at Robert Saleh and you know he don't get it. Doug Peterson, you know he don't get it.
Dang, Robert Saleh caught a strike.
You can just keep going. I'm sorry. You can just
It's a
keep
shame.
going. I don't know why they went for 2 when they did. I'll never know that. But it is what it is. I'll take the win, but the defense, they were definitely hurt by those guys that did not play in that game.
To your point about Mike McDonald, you can tell a lot about a coach by the way the players look at the guy and treat the guy in a moment of loss. And the way DK Metcalf and Mike McDonald, I don't know if anybody saw that, had this mutual respect for each other in the waning moments of the game when the result was decided. I thought, okay, they got something there in Seattle.
Yep.
You know, because DK with Pete Carroll, you know, there was some back and forth there. There wasn't always seeing of eye to eye. In the way Mike McDonald kind of like went like this to DK's chest, it was like, I know you just played your tail off. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. What a beast.
And DK was like, I got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of times players, man, they just want to be seen, they just want to be felt, and they just want to be heard by their coaches, you know. And then once you get that, you'll run through a wall. Like you said, you hit the nail on the head. Pete Carroll and DK, they didn't have that. Whether Pete Carroll was a little bit older and didn't like DK's hair or whatever it was, or his personality, or maybe his distraction from football in his mind, he needed that. He felt like he never got that in a coach. So coming with a first-year coach, you're like, oh, my God, what's this going to be like? Because I've already had 6 years of this. Mike McDonald wrapped his arm around him. Like, when you get that as a player, like, it really allows you to unlock your full potential, allows you to relax in the game, and allows you to be the best version of yourself. So I'm glad I didn't see it, but I've had a moment like that, so I'm able to speak from experience, man. When those coaches wrap their arms around you, it's like, all right, like, everybody up here is not a certain type of way. You know what? Now it's time for me to get active.
Hey, by the way, Lions, we know, have the best 1-2 punch in the running game. Seattle's got a pretty good 1-2 punch, too, in K9 and Zach Charbonneau.
He's a beast.
They were so
Charbonnet.
behind, we didn't get a real chance to see it.
Right.
They are two
Zach had
beasts.
2 runs in the game.
They are two beasts, and they run them the same as we do, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. One is in for like one series. The next guy comes in, but then they give Jahmyr Gibbs 2 or 3 in a row, and Montgomery disappears kind of. But the run David Montgomery imposed in that game, to me, that just shows you, hop on this guy's
What about
back.
the hit on Devin Witherspoon?
He knocked him into next week.
He did.
It was beautiful to see, and I'm very impressed with Geno Smith.
Who had the more impressive run? And I know it's a different team, but Kenneth Walker.
Ooh.
I've been watching, and I think it was actually a pass, the one he caught, where he flipped up and he
They're just men.
Yep.
First, like, I've been watching football a very long time. I played around a bunch of guys. I have never.
He flipped twice.
He did, because he kept his balance the first time.
It's almost like he knew what he was doing that second time.
Second time he
you
did it
know?
on purpose, because
Yeah.
yes, I could flip back in the day in my time. Like, he knew he was gonna get that flip up. I've never seen anything like that happen.